hand signals were weird with the 3 and like.
Yeah,
I was like,
is
that baseball?
It's a baseball.
I thought that was Dio.
Like,
It's when you're signaling the outfield.
I feel like
okay.
I was at a Kiss concert.
Yeah, Dio. Time to go. All right, so Johnny Ganache here, Pint of Comics. We are at BoomTube Comics in Southington, Connecticut. Southington. That's a hard word for me to get out right off. Not slowly. Southington, Connecticut. 1475 Meriden Waterbury Turnpike. And if you go back maybe about a month ago, we had Dan here. Dan is the owner, proprietor, captain, chief.
Janitor.
Anything else you want to add to that? King of
Everything.
Everything. Dan does everything here. He is basically you're the single employee, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Very very impressive. Dan is here all the time, and we went over some of the books, like newer stuff, and just kind of talked about some of the stuff that's on the racks right now. And we're doing it again, right? So this is kind of like our live video, not live, but a video podcast we've been doing.
Second ever video podcast.
Second ever video podcast. So, and we'll show you in a minute that Sir John is over reading comics. This is just such a wonderful comic environment. But let's go over some of the stuff that's been coming out lately. Yes. You have right when you come in, there's a table right off the bat. So you got all your stuff along this wall, but you got a table right there. That's kind of like key new stuff. So let's go over some key new stuff happening right now.
I think they're all number 1s this week.
Yeah, I think I grabbed a bunch of number 1s.
Yeah.
So the first thing is a crossover between a Dark Horse property and a DC property. It's Black Hammer Justice League.
Yes.
This is a mini-series, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, it's 5 issues.
5 issues. Jeff Lemire. If you're a fan, Black Hammer is Jeff Lemire's superhero universe in Dark Horse.
Yeah.
And the Justice League, if you've never heard of them, is, you're an idiot. Because the Justice League is the DC superheroes. It's the actual Superman Flash. It's not like Justice League with Vixen or Justice League Detroit. It's real Justice League stuff going on there. And somehow they switch over universes. Lloyd, the Manster, is a big fan of Black Hammer. And just as a matter of fact, a couple weeks ago, I came here and picked up the first 2 trades. I'm looking forward to checking it out. Number 1 issue of Batman Universe. Now you're going, another Batman title. This is actually kind of cool. What is this, Dan? This isn't just another Batman title.
That is the new material from the Walmart 100-page Giants.
So if you have not gotten a chance to get out to Walmart and get those 100-page Giants that they're doing exclusively, this is written by Brian Michael Bendis with art by Nick Darrington. And in every one of those 100-page Giants, they have a little, maybe 10-page new story.
Yep.
And this is compiling those new stories.
6 issues.
6 issues. Here's one for us all.
Oh, there you go, buddy.
I got one in my pull file because I love my wife.
Uh-huh.
It's IDW Care Bears number 1, Unlock the Magic. Are you a brony? Do you enjoy stuff like that? That's cool because now you got Care Bears comic books. They're just...
It's beautiful.
Honestly, look at the colors in this thing. If you're having a bad day, just read a Care Bears comic.
Get a little care.
Okay? Care Bears stare there. That's what they do. Now, this is something else, and we've been looking forward to this because we have a good relationship with the folks over at Ahoy Comics. This is a very controversial title.
It is.
Why is it controversial, Dan?
It's a story about Jesus and a superhero. So the basic concept is God thinks Jesus isn't heroic enough and sends him down to live with a superhero. So
DC Comics dropped this thing like a hot potato.
Yep, and Ahoy picked it up.
And Ahoy picked it up very bravely. Mark Russell, who, I don't think I've ever read anything by Mark Russell, but I can say this. I know he's gotten a lot of a good vibe about him. And we'll mention the Manster again. A couple years ago, he wrote a Flintstones book. And at the time, it was before Manster was part of the podcast, but when he was on a lot, he made the bold statement of saying that Flintstones book was the best comic he read all year.
Really?
Really. So whether that's true or not, I don't know.
Wow.
But Second Coming, and this is hot.
Very good book.
This came out this week, so by the time you see it, it might be a week or 2 after. But this came out this week, and it is already out of second printing.
Yes.
Right? So you see it, come down to BoomTube. He's got a
I've
stack
read it.
here.
It's really good.
Yeah, I have not read my copy yet. I'm going to lay these down right over here. So what do we got? Let's go over some stuff here real quick. DC. Oh, look what came out. Batman Damned. I'm not going to say anything about this book because I wasn't a huge fan, but I will tell you this. That cover right there.
Yeah, Jim Lee, Swamp Thing, Batman.
Look at that. There's no way, whether you enjoy the book or not, you can't say that isn't an awesome cover. Batman just swamping out.
And it's the new Black Label.
It is the new Black Label.
Yes.
Yeah. Whole story behind that.
How about Last Night on Earth? I don't think we covered that last time.
We did not. I think you might have been out of it at that point. Yep. Now, is this this is a number 2?
Yeah.
Printing number 2. This is the final So DC New 52, the Batman series was Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder. They went through and did all that, and then they did the Dark Knight's Metal.
Yes.
That was kind of like part of that whole story.
Yeah.
And this is part one of several issues.
3 issues.
3 issues. That is finishing off
It's Future Batman.
their run. Future Batman. He apparently has the Joker's head in a lantern of some sort. Now, you read this?
I've read it.
Did you enjoy it?
Oh, it's incredible.
I did not get...
Nothing like Capullo and Snyder on Batman.
Capullo is very good. Snyder, I like Snyder. I did like his Batman. I liked his Batman in New 52 very much.
Off
and
the hook.
I look forward to reading this. I will say, man, look at that. Look at like Green Lantern babies going crazy.
Oh, it's crazy.
That's pretty cool. So check that out. This is also Black Label.
Yes.
All right. Oh, and I just want to point out too that right now, because Year of the Villains going on, they're doing all these variants with DC villains on the cover. So you got Ra's al Ghul right there, and what else?
Shadow Thief.
Oh, that's a good one. Hawkman, Shadow Thief, Deathstroke.
Look at that Art Germ Catwoman. That's
Yeah,
beautiful.
that's not bad at all. So you can come down, you can get yourself some of those great variants. Let's see what other books are floating right now. Hey, look, we'll talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
It's back. Gerard Way from My Chemical Romance, creator of Umbrella Academy. He did a 12-issue series of Doom Patrol. It ended, but he had the Young Animal imprint. It's Young Animal again. It ended last year, and now this is technically issue 13, even though they're rebooting it with a number 1. It's the same line. It is just now number 1, kind of starting over number-wise. But I don't know, interesting stuff. I'm not going to say whether I liked or disliked it, because I didn't really understand it. But obviously it's back. Oh, Flex Mentallo. You got some Flex Mentallo. It's weird. I'm going to say that about it's weird, but that's a cool cover. Oh, look at that. I'm going to show this one too.
Oh,
Awesome.
yeah, Gorilla Grodd, yeah.
Another variant, Gorilla Grodd. How badass is that?
Those are all on card.
All right. So we were talking before, Dan, about the Batman Walmart stories.
Yes.
Right? But they've done Batman, Swamp Thing, Wonder Woman, Superman, and Teen Titans, I think, right? All together?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe that covers them all.
So, if you're a Superman fan and you're going, well, why do they do the Batman one? They're not doing Superman. They did. Calm down. It's
Right
called
there.
Superman Up in the Sky. And this is Tom King and one of the Kuberts. I don't want to say the wrong one. Andy Kubert. This is their Walmart story condensed into a single issue. Now, do you know if this is going to be like kind of an ongoing or
6 issues?
6 issues, okay. So 6 issues. This is number 1. You don't have to go running to a Walmart. You can come right here to BoomTube. Say, Dan, I want my Superman fix. He'll put you on a pull list. If you do up to how many titles to get free previews?
10 titles.
10 titles. So if you say I want Superman and I want this and I want that, and you get up to 10, you get a free a copy of previews every single month, and then you can go through it. And it's very advantageous because you can order stuff out of it. It helps Dan out, helps you out. You fill your shelves. Everybody's happy. That's one. Number 2, which Sir John is reading over here, is the Black Label Superman Year 1, written by Frank Miller and drawn by one of my favorite... Uh-oh, what's this question?
Why is it Black Label?
Is it adult in any way?
No.
Oh.
Well,
One of my favorite Superman artists, or I'm sorry, not Superman artist, period, John Romita Jr. Look at this. I love this back cover.
He did a great job, too.
And this is a retelling of Year 1, exactly, right? This is a retelling of Superman's origin.
a little tweaked.
Little tweaked.
A little updated.
But I can't complain. It's John Romita Jr. I'm a big fan. We'll move over to the Marvel section of BoomTube here. If you're a big fan, right? Well, it was the big movie, right? Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. You're probably a fan of Peter Porker. Character came out in the late mid '80s through the Star Comics imprint. He was now here's something people don't really get about Peter Porker. I read Peter Porker as a kid.
I never read Peter Porker.
Peter Porker was not a pig bitten by a radioactive spider. Peter Porker was a spider bitten by a radioactive pig.
Whoa.
I believe that's how it went, and he becomes a pig.
Wow.
Lou's going to fact check me, but I know that what everybody thinks is wrong. He wasn't
Who's Googling it?
Yeah, Lou's Googling it. So, but for the Spider-Man annual, Jason Latour, Phil Lord, Christopher Miller, they did and it's very much cartoony kind of style. very similar to the old book. So if you haven't gotten your fill yet of Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham, there you go.
Get it at the tube.
I wanted to bring this up because even though this is a character I've never been a fan of, except for the run where he was Agent Venom, where it was
Okay.
Flash Thompson, I dug that.
Yeah.
But I have to say, I keep hearing people say how good. It's kind of funny. Was I right?
You were right. It was actually May Porker.
May Porker.
Yes, who doused herself with chemicals and irradiated herself.
Ooh, do you have something to say?
Nice.
What's the other cover?
Oh,
That's the Miller cover. It's a Ramita cover and a Miller cover.
Oh,
yeah. See,
Ironically, Larry Hama was one of the creators of Peter Porker.
really?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he will be. We'll see him tomorrow. Well, what I wanted to say about this was I wanted to say how I've heard nothing but good things about the Donny Cates Venom.
And that's not Donny Cates.
This is not Donny Cates. So, but I will say this: this is Cullen Bunn, and I got a chance a couple years ago when I was writing for another website to interview Cullen Bunn, and he was super nice, and he's actually a pretty good creator. He did Harrow County, which was very cool. He's done a lot of Deadpool stuff. So I guess what I'm trying to say is check out the Donny Cates Venom, and maybe check the Cullen Bunn stuff out too.
Check them both out.
Check them both out.
Trade
Why not?
paperbacks coming out for Donny Cates.
There you go. So you can get and Donny Cates wrote that really weird, cool issue of Silver Surfer Black. Did you read that?
No, I haven't read that.
That was odd, man. But I'm in.
Sold out of it before I get my hands on
I
it,
bought one
actually.
from you. I'm buying more.
Nice.
So War of Realms, which
And
is
Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Cosmic Ghost Rider, right? He
Yeah, that
created
was awesome.
War of Realms is Marvel's big thing right now, right?
Yep.
It is the Jason Aaron writes this. He has written Thor for the last 8 years.
Yes.
And this is kind of like the big event
The swan
that is
song.
leading out of his run. Now, Jason Aaron did, in his time, he started off with Thor Odinson with the hammer. He went through the time where he became unworthy. He did all the Jane Foster stuff. He's doing War of Realms. He's going to be ending his Thor run in the next, say, 8 months or so. And then he's going to be starting to write a Valkyrie book.
First appearance, Jane Foster as Valkyrie in that book
Right there. So Jane Foster's back. She's not Thor anymore. She's Valkyrie, which I honestly might buy that book because I know there's a lot of people out there that didn't like it. I loved the Jane Foster Thor.
Really?
I really did.
I did too.
Really did.
I really did.
All the fanboys out there that were kind of on, they made Thor a girl. You know what? It lasted 2 years or so. It was a good story. Get over it. It was really well done.
I loved the whole angle of the hammer was killing her.
Well, the hammer, the whole thing.
Yeah.
The other angle I liked a lot was that she could do things with the hammer that Thor couldn't do.
Really?
And the reason being was that there was a storm when they created the hammer. It was imbued with magic, and there was a storm put into the Lord of God of Thunder. There was a storm put into the metal of the hammer. The storm, which Thor could control to an extent, was female, so it bonded with Jane, and because she was like, I'm doing things with this hammer I can't figure out. But at the same time, like Lou said, she was going through cancer at the time. And the hammer is every time she uses the hammer, it's keeping her alive. But every time she turns back to Jane, she's getting weaker and sicker.
Oh man.
It was. Look, whether you like it or not, Jason Aaron is a hell of a writer.
That's
Yes,
spun
he
out
is.
of Original Sin because that was the whole part
Yeah.
of him not being worthy.
Right, he wasn't worthy. He loses his arm. He ends up with what is it, Jarnborn or whatever that axe is.
Born.
So you got that, and then this is the first issue right after this of Thor, and right on the back page it tells you that this is kind of like the penultimate arc of Thor, and then it's heading back to Esad Ribic, who he started the book with 8 years ago, to do some last stuff, and maybe he'll bring our friend Ron Garney back.
Because that first arc with Ribic was the God Killer.
God
arc,
Killer, which is an
awesome.
incredible
It
arc.
was so good.
All right, this is a book that if you're not reading, Jason Aaron again, by the way, Conan the Barbarian. I've talked about this several times.
Yes.
This is awesome. This issue in particular, right in the cover, sometimes you'll look at a cover and go, oh, it's a cover of Conan, a bunch of women, hanging all over him. That's not the story. This is the story. Conan goes to a brothel in the beginning and purchases 6 women and drags them across the country, basically. There's a reason, and it's awesome. And it's very Conan. And the art by, who's the guy who does this art? Mahmoud Asrar is just incredible. And then as a bonus,
Sorry, sir, we tried.
what's that?
Get the
Oh
name
yeah,
right.
well hey, Mahmoud Asrar. And then one of the things that's really cool about this book, which I honestly haven't read them yet, is at the end of every Conan book they're doing, even Savage Sword, they're giving you a chapter of a brand new Conan novel
Oh, cool.
So you could read, they're on issue 7. This is chapter 7. Very cool
Who's
stuff.
writing that?
That is written by, that's a good question. That is written by John C. Hocking, dedicated to Roy Thomas. A Tale of Conan the Barbarian in 12 parts. So when they get to issue 12, they'll probably go to another one. It's heavy. Why is it heavy?
Issue
Issue 25. It's Amazing Spider-Man. I've just been digging this book. Amazing Spider-Man is one of my ride or die books, I guess you could say. I've heard it called that before. I don't want to stop reading it, so I just keep buying it all the time. This and Daredevil. If you're a Spider-Man fan, just buy it. If you're not, don't worry about it. But it's been very good.
Sick Carnage Eyes variant cover.
Oh, look at that.
Mary Jane.
Mary Jane.
All Carnage out.
That's a big thing coming up, right? Carnage. Absolute Carnage.
Absolute Carnage, yeah.
Yeah, and what is it? All the symbiotes are coming back, or?
It's 5 different titles. Carnage event, Deadpool, Scream, I think it is, Absolute Carnage. I forget the other 2.
That's fine. Look it up. Go to Marvel.com. You can figure it out.
Yeah.
But is that coming? That's happening soon. August. So you got something to look forward to.
X-Men.
What are these called?
Facsimile edition.
Facsimile editions. This is. We talked about one of these in the last episode too. This is a copy of X-Men #1 from 1963, September. Instead of 22 cents or 25 cents or 7 cents, whatever it was, it's $3.99. That's the only thing different. The cover is the same. The ad on the back is the same. The ads on the inside are the same.
It's an exact reprint.
Grog Grows Own Tale. It's an exact reprint. So if you never got yourself a copy of X-Men #1, which most likely you and me, well, you might because I know you got a ton of stuff. I don't have one.
I don't have one.
You can get yourself one. Sure, it's not worth $26,000. Look at Iceman was weird looking when they first started. Iceman basically just looks like a snowman without a carrot nose. He's kind of a weird design. Last one I wanted to bring up for Marvel is issue 2 of X-Men Grand Design by Ed Piskor. I've never read these, but I'm always tempted, and I might start picking them up. You put it really well. What is this like?
Like the Reader's Digest version of X-Men history.
Reader's Digest version of X-Men history, and they also reprint it on what looks like weathered kind of newsprint paper.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I've seen these in hardcover at some bookstores, and I think maybe you might have one of the editions here. You had it here at one point, and it's like this here. This is actually funny. This is my X-Men right here. Wolverine on the X-Cross. This is when late '80s when the X-Men were in Australia. But so this is kind of like reading probably 70 issues of X-Men in one issue. So check that out as well. And coming up in X-Men, right? What's happening?
Oh, Powers of 10, House of X.
Is that what it's called? Powers of 10?
Technically, yeah.
Oh,
I like
wow.
saying Powers of X, though. I think that's way better.
Okay. This is John. Yeah, I agree with you on that. This is Jonathan Hickman, who has done defining
I'm
runs.
sure it means something.
It must. Yeah, we'll find out. Defining runs on Fantastic Four at one point. He did a long run on that. He did a long run on Avengers.
Yeah.
That led into Infinity. He wrote Infinity, and
This is exciting because they're wiping out all the other X titles.
right.
They're
To
pulling
do
a
2
Star
titles.
Wars with it. They're pulling wiping out continuity.
Yeah.
Not continuity necessarily.
He wants control.
They're taking all the books, getting rid of them, and giving him 2 books, and saying for now these are the 2 books. That's it.
So it's not like Star Wars where what happened in the past, like in the old EU, is gone, and this is like
No.
No. This all still exists. It's not continuity wiping. It's just saying we're stopping where we're at right now and starting over.
Yes.
Nice.
Let's move on down to the independents. All right, so now we're hanging out we're hanging out in the indie zone, right?
Indie Zone.
Can I call it that?
Sure.
Can you name it that for me
It's
saying
the
that?
Indie Zone.
All right, from here on out, it's the indie. You know what you should do? You should paint like a white stripe that goes across there. And
Indie
people
zone.
cross over, you go, you just got into the indie zone, like scoring a touchdown.
Sure,
you know?
yeah.
All right, he'll never
Gotta
do that.
do a little
he'll
dance.
never do it. You got to do a dance when you come in the indie zone. All right.
The Icky Shuffle.
Yeah, you gotta do the
Indie Shuffle. The
The
Indie
Indie-
Shuffle.
Remember the Icky Shuffle?
Yeah.
Man,
He was.
that guy had the world on top of the. Yeah, things didn't work out well for him. Anyways, let's talk about some of the indie books that are out right now and what's going on. Let's start off because I'm wearing the shirt, right? I'm Pickle Rick. Of course, Oni Press is doing the Rick and Morty series. I'm a huge Rick and Morty fan. I have not read a ton of the comics, but I read some of them, and they're pretty enjoyable. I don't think that they're a substitute for the show because it's kind of hard when you're reading something like this, that's like a humorous type thing.
Yeah.
You know, to always catch everything as well as they do in animation. But I will say that
Plus the timing.
the timing, exactly, the voices lend so much to it. But the art team that they have working on this capture the animation style very well, and it's just a fun book. They've done some really cool, like there's the main series, which is on issue 51. Holy cow! And then there and there are a bunch of spin-offs. They did a sleep. Holy cow!
They did a Pickle Rick.
They did a Pickle Rick.
Yeah.
They did a Sleepy Gary.
Mr. Meeseeks or whatever.
Mr. Meeseeks. Mr. Meeseeks hates Jerry. Have you ever, Dan? Have you watched Rick and Morty?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Oh yeah. See, Mr. Meeseeks. If you know the show, you know that Mr. Meeseeks comes to life for long enough to help you out with your life, and all he wants to do is die at the end, and he gets stuck with Jerry, who's the biggest pain in the ass in the world. Just watch it. Why don't you watch it? It's coming back in like November.
When are we doing those episodes?
Yeah, we will be doing. By the way, yes, we're going to be doing a season by season watch of Rick and Morty. We've
only been talking about it for 2 years.
look, we'll be doing it. We have been talking about it for a long time. Those episodes are going to be John, myself, the Manster, and my wife Lindsay, because she loves that show and she wants to be on that. So this is a big deal. What's going on here in Spawn, Dan?
Oh, we're coming up on 300, which is 301 is the record.
301 is the record for indie comics. What book will it be beating?
Cerberus the Aardvark.
That's right. So Todd McFarlane is crossing the goal line here from 1992. Yeah. He has been putting this book out, and I read Spawn and Fitz. The book, for me, okay. I like the HBO cartoon, though. You ever see that?
Oh, so good.
That was so good with
So
Keith
good.
David's voice as Spawn. But no matter what, I'm assuming in August you're going to want to be here to get number 300.
I'm surprised Savage Dragon didn't beat that.
He's slow.
240.
He's
something.
slow.
Is it that
Yeah.
low?
But he also, as opposed to, not to give Eric Larson some credit, McFarlane writes this but doesn't draw it. Larson does everything.
And keep in mind, Eric Larson was also editor-in-chief in Image for a long time.
He was editor-in-chief of Image for a long time. So yeah, we give him credit for that. Steel Cage, Ahoy Comics, this is a really cool idea. When we had Tom Payer on, Tom is the guy in charge over there, the editor-in-chief. It's 3 stories, and then you can go to their website and vote for which one you like the most, and that one should be...
bouncing at it, can't read it.
That one should be coming out. Thank you, Vanna. as a series. So the first one is called Bright Boy. Or that's actually the second story, written by Stuart Moore. What is that? Noah's Ark is the third story in the book by Mark Waid. And then True Identity is the first story by Tom Payer.
That's the one I voted for.
I vote True Identity myself.
I've read True Identity. That's a really good story.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
It has a
I haven't
great
read the
twist
other
at
two.
the end.
It's got a good twist. It's kind of funny, but it's a weird story. But they're all worth checking out. So check Steel Cage out, and then go to Ahoy Comics website and vote for it.
We're both Italian. He can only move his hands and talk, and when my hands are still, see, I'm moving.
Yeah, he's jumping around. We talked a little bit before, down on the other end, about Justice League Black Hammer. And everybody out there is going, Black Hammer? I don't know what Black Hammer is. Well, you know what? You're in luck. Because very much like the old issues of the Who's Who in DC that we've talked to Bob Greenberger about so many times, and the Marvel Universe, well, Jeff Lemire or Dark Horse or someone there decided to put out a Black Hammer encyclopedia, right? Black Hammer encyclopedia. So you start ripping through this thing, and you can learn all about the characters and the locales.
Dana White.
Dana White. Characters, locales, all the good stuff about the Black Hammer universe. So check that out.
Wait, let me flip it.
Oh, flip.
Oh, it's a wrap cover.
It's a wrap cover, too. All right. Here we go. IDW, A Bold New Era.
Cards.
Transformers with the card game. I bought my copy and gave it to Sir John, the cards.
He got the Dinobot, damn it.
I got Dinobot Sludge.
That's so awesome.
Look at that right there. And then you can turn it over when you play.
Don't bend my card.
I will not bend your card.
Watch those
I will
corners.
not bend your... He cares about nothing
They're
on
rounded
Earth.
corners.
And it comes with the pack of the smaller cards, which are part of the game. So.
And you have the main game, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, and you dig it.
Come on.
And,
Come
well,
on.
we've never played it. Look,
Not buying it to play it.
there might not be let's play it. There might be a lot of things you don't know about Sir Johnny. He's a mystery wrapped in a riddle. But one of those things is that he loves Transformers. Come back on camera real quick
Encased
and
in
talk
enigma.
about this series of Transformers. Are you enjoying
yes.
this series?
Yes.
What is so? It gets kind of convoluted with the IDW stuff, because there was More Than Meets the Eye and the other series and this, that, and the other.
Yeah, they were companion series. But
Where does this fit in?
this, from my understanding, and I've been told that it may or may not be an actual reboot of the entire universe, but from the way I read it, it fits before the war, before the fall of Cybertron. So it's before Megatron and Optimus fought it out and killed most of the planet. So
Wow.
it's way before any of that.
I picked up all the issues myself because he was so excited about it, and I figured
It's really well done.
when they got me with the bold new era. I was afraid to start picking up the middle ones because I'm like, I'm gonna be totally lost.
So there's a lot of characters from all different eras of Transformers because of the way they wrote the last few series. So this is way before that. This is before the factions. There's no Decepticons yet.
I cracked open the first issue, not to read it, just to look through it, and Optimus Prime's name isn't even Optimus Prime.
Right.
What's his name?
Orion Pax.
Orion Pax. Is this something that's always been...
Yeah.
See? This is
Goes back to the animated show.
where... Wow. Orion Pax.
Because you
I
to
never
become.
knew that.
I did not know that either, and my
How
thing
did you
is...
miss the episode
Well,
of the
Optimus
show?
Prime is a title. Right?
Yeah.
It's a title.
Well,
No,
Prime is a
Prime
title.
is a title.
I'm
Yeah.
also like 15 years younger than you.
No, you're not.
Yeah, we'll go with it.
No.
Yeah, don't give yourself that much credit, though.
No, so once they get the
Whippersnapper.
Matrix leadership, then they become the Prime, and then he changes his name. But this is long before that, so
Well, check it out, IDW.
yeah, I really like it.
He loves it. The last book we'll talk to that will lead into another book.
This one's all you, Dan. I know nothing about this one.
I don't know.
Well,
anything
you're gonna know about
about
what we're gonna jump into. We're not gonna get mean or anything. but
don't.
Robert Kirkman. All right, we know Robert Kirkman, Skybound, Walking Dead, all that stuff. Issue 41 of Outcast. This has been going on for a few years now. It is his book about. I think it's like exorcism and like there's possession and all this stuff. It's ending at issue 48. So
could end on the next issue.
so
though.
we all know it's ending in 7 issues, or is it? Because as we all know, Dan, can you get your copies, all the copies of 193 Walking Dead you have?
193.
Yeah, just grab them all. Oh, they're
I
not
don't have
here.
any.
They're not here because Robert Kirkman kamikazed the world,
Yes.
and but I want to ask you about that. Just very straight up, like, did you hear about it the day before? Did someone send you an email? How does that work
I got
in
a
your world?
I got a text from the Dr. Chopper at midnight on Monday going, "Look at this," and I was like, "Holy cow! When was that happening?"
So your rep at Diamond or nobody contacted you?
no.
I heard, I don't know if this
surprise.
is true, I heard that Diamond didn't find out until Tuesday. Like, Diamond
Certainly
gets the
can't
books
be.
and maybe had a however the process is, and got a note from Skybound saying, oh, by the way, this is it.
Yeah.
You know? I will give him credit for one thing.
That sounds like a contractual severing right there, or something like
Something's
Yeah,
weird,
yeah.
yeah.
that. I don't know.
Something's weird. But in any case, The Walking
Don't
Dead,
like it.
It definitely was a surprise.
I've heard good things about the issue.
Heard it
And
was
I will
awesome.
give him the credit at least on one thing, whether or not anybody's mad about, how he did it, or the fact that, he solicited a couple issues past to kind of fool everybody. It was $4.99 for, I think it was like 3 books basically.
$3.99.
$3.99.
Square bound.
It was square bound. Oh, he's so creepy. He's so creepy.
Help me.
we call him Uncle Creepy. Yeah, see right here.
Solicitation for
Look at
$195.
that. So
Yeah.
here's a solicitation for $195, which is 2 issues past the 193 final. And you got to read here. I love this because I saw this earlier. Walking Dead 195. Robert Kirkman writer, Charlie Adler artist. The swordsman strikes. This is the end of the line, but for whom? And the answer is for everybody 2 issues ago.
Yeah.
But you know what? I guess it's a big
Somebody
story.
drew that cover and everything.
Well,
right?
yeah,
I mean,
Adler did. I mean, and obviously, I'm wondering, is this the newest version of previews you have?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm wondering. I mean, I can't
you tell
imagine
it's a
there's one
phone
more.
book?
Yeah, I can't imagine there's one more after that. So, you know what? That's it. This might be a collector's edition. You might want to keep this book and the last one because
Yeah.
they're going to have the only cover of 2 issues of Walking Dead that don't exist. You
So
know what I mean?
you know what I have to say for all of those Walking Dead folks that really need to have their zombie comic. There's a really good one out there. It's all the way up to issue 61. Zombie Tramp.
Zombie
There
Tramp.
you go. There's
Wow.
some zombies.
See?
Is that
60
Action Lab?
61 issues from Action Lab. and this man has it right
Yes.
here.
Right here.
On the shelf.
Indie
I'm not
Zone.
telling you what it's about. You got to read them.
Yeah. Although I'm pretty sure it's about a zombie tramp. But
It is for mature readers, just like Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Walking Dead is definitely a mature book.
Yes.
So, Dan, that was fun.
That was
It's
awesome.
always fun coming down to the boom tube. It's always fun seeing what's new.
Yes.
Hold that phone book.
I'm gonna hold it. Oh, I'm holding it upside down here. Here we go. This will be out fairly soon. So
I'll be editing tomorrow at Plastic
So
City.
July 28th. This will go out on the YouTube channel. You got something going on here, real quick. What do you got going on?
July 28th, we're doing a fundraiser for Connecticut Children's Medical Center. Jerry Ordway in the house, thanks to Mitch at Terrificon. Connecticut Ghostbusters here. It's going to be
You made that
awesome.
same face when you were eating a turkey leg at a con.
Yeah,
I love
I
exact
love
same face.
I didn't know. I thought you were going to have a stroke on me.
That might happen too.
That face, turkey leg. Yeah.
We're going to have raffles to raise money for the hospital. We're going to have exclusive covers for Ghostbusters 101 that will raise all the proceeds will go to the hospital. And I'm sure we're going to have a few more surprises along the way. So
It's gonna be awesome, and I'm sure we're gonna be blasting Ray Parker Jr. all day long, right? Ba 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 ba. Everybody's gonna love it. Maybe even the Bobby Brown song from Part 2. So this is Pine of Comics, and we'll see you on the flip side.